SMR Podcast Network. You should be listening. What's going on, everybody? RDBT family, SMR Podcast listeners, back with a brand new edition of the SMR News. Of course, there's a bunch of shit going on right now, actually, the plethora of stuff to talk about, truth be told. And I'm joined by the only guy that can help me cover the news, and that's the one, the only, Paul Morales. What's going on, Paul?
What is up, Mr. Moses Marquez?
I'm living the dream, bro. It's fucking hot out here in SoCal. People are sweating. I know you're sweating. I don't have the air on yet, mainly because I'm recording and it's loud. But with my new nice little built studio, you know what? Maybe I should have had it on. I got some soundproof shit behind me. Can add some more to the wall. But I don't know. Well, maybe next time I'll do some experimenting. But nonetheless, we got a shit ton of news to get into. And I don't know what better way to start it. And I don't know if that's necessarily a compliment or in like a negative remark. But we got to talk about the Velveteen Dream. I guess this was all on Reddit. There was an audio clip that was apparently sent by Velveteen. That's currently that was posted to Reddit. And I want to say what was also posted to Reddit was somebody was pretty much like asking for help. Like, hey, I don't know how to respond to this. I was, a private, somebody sent me this. He sent me a ding-a-ling pic. I'm 17. He's talking to my friends too, and they're 16 and 15. He's denied it. He says that a private photo of his was shared without his content or knowledge, and he's trying to get the matter solved as everybody else would be. But you got the little dream out there for the world to see. You're scaring 16, 17-year-old girls, and now you look like you are in the world's biggest pot of hot water.
That's what it looks like. It looks like he just. I want to say, I know that there was something that came up on the internet to where it said that his account was hacked. And he didn't have control over what his thing, over his account. So he wasn't able to, pretty much see who was on it and who was activating it. But we all take precautions, on how to go about that, and if you being the star that you are, if you don't have somebody, I'm pretty sure, all these superstars, except for guys like John Cena, who I think he has people doing stuff for him. I don't think it's him doing his stuff, but, they have some company, doing stuff for them.
Yeah, some intern probably.
Yeah. I know you have The Rock that has somebody, taking videos of him, while he's working out. So.
Well, yeah, I don't think he can do that on his own. You know what I mean? He can damn sure try though, because he's The Rock.
And that's what becomes more interesting is that you have. He's not like he's not well known. So it's like people, I'm sure, reach out to him like constantly. Hey, can you do this? Or hey, we're this, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
So on and so forth. But you have to be cautious about this stuff, and you have to understand that, being the figure that you are, people are going to try and come after you and do what they do to you. So
yeah, they're going to have every reason to exploit you.
Yeah, and in that sense, it's like I look at everything now, and it's like, fuck, this is just a horrible situation for this dude.
Well, yeah, considering the fact that this guy is like, on his way up the fucking NXT ladder, looking like he's going to have an NXT championship shot anytime soon. So.
It looks like it's going to come down to that, but right now, I don't know how. I think he said he didn't know how to deal with this, so, I don't know if he knew how to contact WWE, or something like that, but, hopefully somebody digs into this, because I would hate to see something happen to this dude. He's such a nice guy, from what everybody says, and everybody that I've seen on Twitter has pretty much said, he's a really down to earth, nice guy. So I don't understand why somebody would want to do that to him.
Yeah, well, like I said, the problem is this world is full of people that are just out for their own. And that's the unfortunate reality. So, but it is what it is. He's working on it. I mean, this isn't the first time this has happened. Hopefully he's not in that big of hot water. I hope maybe this is all like, he got hacked for real, because, all signs point to them still pushing him. He beat Adam Cole on Wednesday, in that tag team match, and he still has a shot at the title. I don't know if he's going to be working with Finn because Finn disappeared, but that's a different story entirely.
Yeah.
So now we get into some fun stuff that I'm sure some people are like, why in the fuck are we talking about this? But this is always an important talk, and it's the quarter numbers. The financial quarter has come to the end for quarter one. It's showing that a 60% year-over-year net revenue of $291 million is the average, with an average of WWE Network subscribers, paid network subscribers, 1.6 million. So nowhere near, because I believe the last time they peaked, it was over 2.1. Yeah, right here, 2.1 million on April the 6th, due to their highest amount subscriber being, obviously for fucking WrestleMania and shit. But then people have since, said fuck off. And a lot of it was actually, free memberships. And then you have WWE stock closing the day at $39.07 a share, and has increased a certain percentage, now up to 42.5 as of right now. So during this during this financial call, there was no talk of the XFL, which kind of, should have happened, considering the fact that when they filed bankruptcy, they found out that WWE itself owned about 6 or 7% or something like that of the XFL. So they kind of got a little bit of a tax break when the bankruptcy thing happened, but that's a different story entirely. But we get the operating income was about 5.3 million, was up about, they lost about 6.5 thanks to all the shit going down. But yeah, it was pretty obvious that they were affected thanks to, COVID-19 and all that other stuff. They have all kinds of backup plans ready in case, they can't fucking just tape at the Performance Center forever. But from the looks of it, they don't have to worry about that now since they're essential and all that other fun jazz. But these guys were going to make a bunch of money the day they stopped construction on their fucking building. So this was this was no different. They saved a shit ton of money. We knew they were going to save a shit ton of money, and now their books look good. Their fucking stock revenue went up. Everything's going up. Why? And so then again, the question is, why in the fuck did you fucking fire a bunch of people?
I want to say, dude, this is just Vince McMahon being Vince McMahon. He's trying to, skip money where he can, and that's what businessmen do for some apparent reason. It's like, oh well, I'm trying to keep a quota, so I'm trying to keep myself at this level or this elite level in financial terms.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me, because you see what he's done over the last few months, with the XFL going under, with, him closing up the doors there, because it's obvious, he didn't want to continue to keep, filtering money into there. And then, he needed to cut back, a lot of the stars that were more than likely not going to re-sign. I'm not saying no way Jose wouldn't have. I know Heath Slater would have.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys, are pretty much WWE guys, so I don't necessarily see them going anywhere else. But you get guys like the Revival who are already like, oh, we don't want to be here anymore. We want to go. So on and so forth. So.
Oh yeah, no, we got some news on the Revival. We'll get into them in a bit. But no, that's so, you're not wrong. There was a bunch of guys that it was like, we figured they would be WWE forever. And then we figured, okay, thank you. You finally released them. But at the same time, a lot of these guys, it wasn't necessary. Especially a guy like a Drake Maverick and shit. But now at the same time, I think maybe it was best for him to be fucking released, because now look at the guy. He's on fire. So.
I I want to say it, to me, it's, you take a guy like Drake Maverick, who came over here from TNA, from Impact, wanted to do something different in his life. And, something he had mentioned, this was his lifelong dream to get to WWE. It wasn't just something that you know, that he chose the path that he did. It just so happened that that was where the path took him. It was over the Impact. So he was more than excited to be in WWE, to be in that limelight. And when he had it, it was good for him, and he loved it. So the fact that now he doesn't have that, and matter of fact, he's doing what he's doing in the Cruiserweight tournament, it just amazes me that Vince didn't see this in him.
Yeah, well, you see what happens when Vince just has his blinders on and can give a shit about a lot of people.
Yes, sir.
So anyway, let's continue onward. Again, something that was not talked about in this quarterly financial call was the XFL. And so we got to bring up what is going on. Oliver Luck, the former, I want to say he was like the president of the league or something like that. He is suing.
I want to say he was the commissioner of the league.
There you go, something like that. I believe the commish. He is suing Vince McMahon for, I want to say it's like $20 million or over $20 million. The fact of the matter is Oliver Luck had signed a contract with Vince McMahon and the XFL when he first signed on, stating that no matter how it goes, this is his guaranteed money. Guaranteed like $20 million. So Vince is like, oh, well, we're going to fire you so he doesn't have to pay you that. And he's like, well, what are you firing me for? And he gave a bunch of bullshit reasons, like what was it? I don't even know. Just a bunch of bullshit. Like legal terms that I couldn't even fucking elaborate if I wanted to. But the point is Oliver Luck is in here. He's trying to get his money out of Vince, and I don't know if he's going to get it. But like I said, at the same time, Vince just made a bunch of money. They're more than likely going to end up settling out of court. So it's just, this whole thing it's just weird.
Yeah, everything about it was just so weird. Like you had a really good league, and you were going to make it a success, but given that, everything that happened, with, the pandemic that happened, you can't change that. And it's not like it's a blemish on them, because it happened, it's not their fault. It just happened.
Yeah.
So who's going to be the scapegoat? It's going to be them. And yeah, I say he has every right to sue them. I say he has every right to tell them, hey, you know what? You owe me this money after you signed me for this. You owe it to me.
Exactly, because the fact of the matter is that's what the contract said. But Vince, he tried to get some kind of loophole so he didn't have to pay nobody.
Exactly.
So, all right, let's stop talking about that, and let's start talking about some guys that are getting re-signed, and that's both the current WWE champion, Drew McIntyre, and the guy they deemed the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins. They are both re-signing with the WWE, signing contracts. Oh, no, excuse me, no. I'm talking about their upcoming match. That's the contract time I'm talking about. That's going to be happening. I don't know why they still do contract signings in an empty arena.
I think it's just more for the entertainment value.
Well, I mean, in this instance, why get it in there? Like, I would understand, like, because now you're not going to get a crowd reaction. So then go to like the boardroom. The WWE champion is being represented by all these guys, and then you got Seth and his fucking goons. You know what I mean?
No. I get it. I totally wholeheartedly agree, because that would be more interesting than have it out in an arena where there's nobody there.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to beat up fucking Titan Towers anyway. Have it fucking do it in the office.
Exactly.
So, anyway, so that's happening for Monday Night Raw. Speaking of Raw, right now I have SmackDown ratings. I want to talk about them because, well, they're on the bigger network, and surprisingly, they've been getting better numbers than Raw. Raw, I want to say, is averaging like 1.87. I'll get the exact number here in a minute. But last Friday's show for SmackDown was still just over 2 million viewers, which is a hell of a lot better than, again, the quote-unquote A show, Raw. Do you think everybody should be panicking? 1.84. I was fucking right. Or close, I should say.
You were spot on. I think you were pretty much spot on. I mean, people are tuning in just to watch it. I mean, if the worst case scenario is that you're watching something that happened, like, they're putting on shows. Now it's live. Now they're not doing those pre-recorded ones to where they're having to do fillers with a lot of matches that, happened in the past or that happened, I guess either the last pay-per-view or a couple pay-per-views before or like NXT, it was like a takeover. It was a takeover match.
Yeah.
Now you're actually getting a full off, show. So I want to say it's a little bit more entertaining than just, not having a whole show.
I can agree with that. I mean, but I don't know. I'm just a little bit worried about these ratings. I mean, they're doing a lot of video packages. They may be turning people on. They may be turning people off. Some of the matches have been getting better in empty arenas. Some stick out like, why in the fuck is this really happening? I don't know. I feel like Raw should be 2 hours. SmackDown's fine. It's maintaining the viewership. DVR numbers aren't much different. But, you can't blame, like, the draft. I mean, you can blame the draft a little bit on Friday, but you can't blame it for Monday. And it's just like, I think WWE, we say it all the time, it's not cool anymore. And then at the same time, I think the reality is most, like, I'm going to call them, flimsy, or what's another word? I was trying to think of fickle. I think the fickle WWE fans would rather watch the news right now.
I wouldn't say all that, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that they're not as entertained with. Listen, this is just kind of okay. Let's be honest. If WWE was doing really, really good, if it had great storylines, if it had great action, not to say that it doesn't, but I mean, if it just had great storylines, and people were just tuning in for the action and didn't know the storyline, whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to get invested into a lot of the wrestlers knowing that you're not going to see them. You may not see them maybe for after they wrestle, maybe for a week or two, maybe 3, and unless you get constant viewers to like main event, watching it, or 205 Live, that are people that are constantly watching it, to see what the action is all about. You're not going to get that. AEW, is trying to put on, storylines and trying to continue them, even though, everything that is going on, which I know they're coming back when on the 5th or 6th.
Yeah.
Next month. So we're going to get a lot of live action from them, coming back up. So, who knows? It just, to me, if people were really truly invested in the company, or at least in the wrestlers, they would watch it. True. And if it was interesting enough to bring people in, and hadn't turned people away, or turned them off at least, I think the numbers would be different. Now, I wanted to mention something to you about you were talking about the viewership numbers for the network. Here's my idea, is that if you're going to get people to sign up, have them sign up for at least 3-month subscription. Have them sign up for at least, 6 month, 9 month, a year. None of this, hey, I'm going to, if you sign up now, you get a month for free, because you can't continually change, if you sign up to the network and you can't continually change, address after address after address. Oh, I'm going to use so-and-so's address. Oh, I'm going to use so-and-so's address. Oh, I'm going to use so-and-so's address. It's not, now they're kind of keeping track as to who these people are and who's doing what. It's just catching up,
Yeah.
So the investment is that if you're going to pay for it, it's $10 a month.
Yeah, it's really not that big a deal, dude. It's $10.
Yeah, it's $10. I mean, you spend more on a couple of lattes at freaking Starbucks for 2 days.
Bet that ass.
If people are truly wanted to see like a lot of the pay-per-views and wanted to see, what's going to happen if Vince decides, hey, guess what? I'm going to pull WrestleMania from the network, and now everybody has to pay, $50, $60 for it on, I don't know, on pay-per-view. He's not going to show it on the network. Then what? Guess who's screwing everybody else? Those people that decided that, hey, you know what? I'm not going to subscribe, or I'm going to take the free subscription, which I think they went too long with that.
Well, no, not to mention a lot of times what people would say is they would they would go to renew their subscription and then they wouldn't be charged. Or they knew if they canceled and re-signed up with the same everything, they wouldn't be charged.
Yeah, but if you look at it, it's like okay, in your mind, you get one pay-per-view a month. You're paying $120 for every pay-per-view throughout the whole year, including the ones that it may not be, your favorites, including, i.e., the ones over in Saudi Arabia. Those may not be your favorite ones. You may not want to put money into those. But guess what? If you're willing to invest at least $10 a month, $120, as opposed to paying $60 a month for a pay-per-view on, like I said, on a pay-per-view, or you're going to pay for it like on ESPN Plus, where you can't get it, or I'm pretty sure that means you'll also have to sign up for ESPN Plus, in order to get it. What makes more sense to you? The logic is telling you I'm going to pay $10 a month for a fucking pay-per-view as opposed to paying $60.
Mm-hmm. I'm definitely on board with that one. I'm not trying to spend $60 a pay-per-view unless it's really worth it, like an AEW show. And I know that sounds very fickle of me, but at the same time, let's be honest here. If we paid $60 for, say, a fucking Money in the Bank is probably going to be pretty good. But say, would you pay $60 for last year's Money in the Bank?
Yeah, but you're not paying. Yeah, well, I don't know. It all depends on how good it was.
Wasn't that good?
But then again, if you look at the people that were in past Money in the Banks, yeah, we know who won them. But there's a lot of matches that were on those pay-per-views that were like, wow, damn, that thing took my, did you see so-and-so do this move? And like, oh my God, did you see, on the ladder, and you see him hopping on the ladder? It's just little things like that, that are worth watching them, and again, back to a 6-month subscription where you're paying $60 for 6 months and 6 pay-per-views as opposed to paying $60 for one pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to get at. I mean, unless you're going to invite 60 of your friends over and charge them $10.
Yeah, you're making a shit ton of money. Oh, you said 6, not 60. I was like, God damn, it's a lot of people in your house.
No, I said 6, not 60.
I was like, God damn, what happened to social distancing? Anyway. So, let's continue onward with some more news from this conference, or financial call, I should say. And for those of you hoping and praying to get a new version of a WWE 2K, I hate to break it to you, it's not going to happen. They've officially canceled the release of next year's game, and there's not a lot anybody can do about it. It's been canceled. There's nothing we can do. But WWE Games Twitter account, which is, I guess, whatever. They posted on Twitter that tomorrow, Monday, At 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, there will be some exciting news. My guess is they're going to try some like live update system. At least that's what I would think. That, or maybe give you the opportunity to play past fucking 2Ks or something. I don't know.
That would be interesting for them to put up like past 2Ks. You know, that I think that would be interesting for them to put all that up.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like maybe like a little. I don't even know what the fuck. I just like they're gonna have to do something. I'm thinking like an update system, like how they would run, not 2K, but how they run GTA. How they're always doing some sort of updates. I'm sure they can learn something from that brand and do some form of like mid-game update.
Oh yeah, that would be perfect. Like even and by the way, I meant to ask you. There was one thing that came to mind right now. Did you ever see that they were gonna do an updated version of San Andreas?
I heard about it,
and I never seen it. I saw the video for it. You know, for like I believe there was like a trailer on YouTube where I saw that, but that would be interesting had they updated that, especially with the cars that are supposed to be in there, that are actually supposed to be the real cars instead of the knockoffs.
Yeah,
that they ended up showing.
Oh yeah, the knockoffs, but you know how it goes. But anyway, so that's bummed some gamers out because we all know how bad this past fucking 2K was. It just glitches galore, multiple problems, story mode being repetitive. I mean, better than years past, but still repetitive. And then, so now let's get into something that some people don't give a shit about, but we're going to talk about it anyway because it's fucking WWE news, and that is the current reigning WWE 24/7 champion, Rob Gronkowski, has been traded from the New England Patriots to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for a 5th and a 7th round pick, which I think is just ridiculous. First off, if we want to get into the football talking, I think we're just going to do something else on that for one day because I have a bunch of shit to say about football, but that's not about this show. But this guy's going back to professional football. I figured it was going to happen, and now, what's going to happen? Is this guy going to get pinned, like, the first game of the season in the end zone or something? Like, what's going to happen?
That would be interesting.
Like, he actually, like, doesn't go in. He never has to take a bump or whatever. Like, these guys can beat each other up in the process of getting to him, and then he just kind of, like, puts his foot on him and walks away. You know what I mean?
I'm still the champ, man. Like, what the hell's his name? Mojo Rawley.
Yep.
All of a sudden, he gets tackled during a preseason game, and you'd see him roll him up 1, 2, 3, and then
like,
you see him run out with the championship.
Oh yeah, he's got it created out of like the gym bag that's supposed to have like medical tape and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know. But they're going to do something funny, I hope, or God only knows. But it was a 7th and a 4th. Not a 7th and a 5th, but still. So that's that. I mean, not a lot of people give a shit about the 24/7 title. And again, not a lot of people give a shit about football. But some people know this man. Some know him as the dog-faced gremlin. Some know him as the big brother to Big Papa Pump. I know him as Rick Steiner. But in all reality, his son is named Bronson Rick Steiner. And that is their real last name. He is, again, the son of Rick Steiner. And he is a fullback. I forget for what college he went to. Quinoa. I can't. It's some fucking school in Georgia. And I apologize. It's a smaller school. And he's a really good fullback from the looks of it. And it looks like he's really going to end up, like, being a big deal. So, this is awesome. I want to say he got signed like undrafted free agents. I don't think he got actually drafted. He did have a really good pro day. He was also at the NFL Combine. He rushed for 909 yards in 2019. And for a fucking fullback, 35 bench presses. That's awesome. That's third best in the whole Combine, by the way.
Was it Quantipeck or something like that he went to?
No, it's Kenosha State? Kenosha State? I can't. If I butchered it, I apologize.
If I butchered it, I apologize.
There we go. All right, let's go back on to some wrestling news. AEW is returning to Florida in May for live and taped shows of Dynamite. What they're going to do is they're going to do like some live film, and then, that's how they're going to do it. So it says May the 6th, Dynamite will air live with the following weeks being filmed on the 6th, and then May the 20th, they will return to go live with no plans as of then to do like the same thing. And then May 23rd is Double or Nothing held in Jacksonville. They are still going to do pay-per-view from the looks of it. No prices are going to change on the thing. We're still going to end up probably paying about $60, $55 for the thing. So we'll see. Maybe Tony Khan's going to be a little cheap for us. Hook us up one time. Money's tight. El Chape didn't send no second check, bro. Only the one. So I like this idea. I wish WWE would get the idea. I think they're going to adapt this idea. You show up for a week, you tape a month worth of stuff. You show up once a month, you tape a month. It's not that, like, you used to do it all the time, bro. We're reviewing back in the day when you did it. For fuck's sake. So.
I think NWA should go back to that, too. I think, because they record all their shows, I think that would be totally doable for them, considering that they record their at least a month's worth of shows.
Yeah. From their little studio. So, well, I mean, I like the idea of it, because what it is you're allowing these guys to work and then rest, quarantine, if you will, so nobody's in danger more than they need to be. I mean, I like it. It's a good idea. And then we all know, because, Florida opened up for pretty much all pro wrestling. They've deemed professional wrestling of an essential business. So
yeah, exactly.
But to continue down the AEW bandwagon, Cody finally gets the opportunity to trademark his own name back. Cody Rhodes went into the patent office on the 13th, and he's just waiting approval. WWE owned the name back in June of 2007, and I want to say it expired sometime last year, but it had a 6-month grace period. October 28th plus the 6 months sometime in 2019, probably February, March. But he waited, and now he's finally put in for it, so maybe we get to finally hear Cody Rhodes being, listed, fucking screamed by the hilltops from one, what the fuck's this guy's name right now? The announcer dude, I can't remember his name.
Josh Roberts?
Josh Roberts. Josh Matthews?
No. Justin Roberts.
Justin Roberts. I don't know why I'm getting Matthews. I don't know where I'm getting Matthews from.
I know, I was going to say Josh Matthews, but it's Justin Roberts.
Well, there you go. So, any thoughts on Cody getting his name back?
I think it's well deserving. I mean, I don't understand why WWE wouldn't want it to happen. I mean, granted, it's his actual name, so it's not like it's going against anything.
Yeah.
It's like you're taking away a part of his legacy because you want to be spiteful. For fucking whatever fucking reason.
For the sake of being spiteful?
For the spank of being spiteful. For the spank of being spiteful. Yeah. Spiteful. That's what it was. See, I didn't even fucking say it right.
It's okay, bro. It's a Sunday. Nobody's getting anything right these days.
For the sake of being spiteful. That's what I meant to say. Sorry, people.
There you go. It's all good. It's all good. So let's talk about one of these teams that finally got released from WWE. Yes, a lot of guys are not just jumping onto the indie bandwagon right now because the indies are pretty much shut down. But one team has decided they're going to change their name, change their look, and in a little bit of a reality, kind of give an idea of where they're going to end up. And this team is, of course, formerly known as the Revival, now calling themselves the Revolt. Fear the Revolt is their new slogan. They have this lovely video up on YouTube right about now. You can check it out. Fear the Revolt. But the one, it says, resist, revive, revolt, coming soon, hashtag FTR. It looks like they're on their way to NWA. Of all the places, NWA was probably the last on the list, in my mind.
I think because, I want to say mostly because the NWA is I think they're still going to do the tournament for, God damn it, I can't even think of the name of it.
Crockett Cup?
The which one?
The Crockett Cup?
Yeah, the Crockett Cup. That's what they're gonna. I think that's what they're gonna enter. So I think that's a good place for them. I mean, granted, they could have went to AEW and did whatever they were gonna go do, but I think it also gives them an opportunity to not only work for NWA, but for any independent company, in the future.
Yeah, I totally dig that one for sure. But I mean, like I said, it throws me off because it's like, of all the places there, people are chomping at the bit for you to go to AEW, but hey, you go where your heart is, and I feel like their kind of style of wrestling is going to fit perfectly in NWA. They are the old school tiny tag team.
Exactly, and I think that was probably their best, if not one of their best decisions to go to.
I love it. So let's keep on trucking here. Ring of Honor is going to debut a podcast called ROH Strong. It's going to be coming out Monday, hosted by Kevin Eck, or ECK. I think if I butchered your name, I apologize. Kevin Eck, whatever the fuck. And Marty Scurll. So they're going to talk and he's going to be their first guest, I should say. He's going to talk about his vision for Ring of Honor and why he chose signing with them over anybody else. And then for those who are interested, there is it's called Masked Republic has announced an all-new Lucha Central website and network, which debut in May. They're going to have a YouTube channel, podcast network, gaming network, and 30 minutes of weekly television. Then we also have, for those who are interested in musicals, a rock musical on the life of Ivan Koloff takes place June 13th in the Trinidad Theater in New York, and it can be live streamed, and I will add that link into the description. So June 13th, anybody interested in Ivan Koloff, they're doing a musical. And we're going to finish up with one thing that we've spent a lot of time on, and that is Dark Side of the Ring. So Dark Side of the Ring we've had 2 episodes. I think we talked a little bit about Jimmy Snuka's episode last week. It kind of hit a little home, close to home because it was a little bit more on the recent side. But then we have the most recent episode, which was the assassination of Dino Bravo, coming in a little over 221,000 views, not million, excuse me. And it did well in the demo, probably one of the higher episodes in the demo of season 2. I did not get a chance to actually watch this one. We do have the upcoming David Schultz Assaults a 2020 reporter. We have that one up next. We have Herm Edwards and the UFW. We got the Road Warrior story. And then, of course, the season finale is going to be Owen Hart. So we'll see. But
that's going to be an interesting one, though.
The Owen Hart?
No, the Dino Bravo one. I haven't watched it yet, but I do want to.
From what I'm hearing, for those, if you don't know Dino Bravo, it's just an interesting watch nonetheless. That's all I'm hearing is nothing but positive things about it.
Oh no, like I said, there were a lot of different, ways of looking at, how he died, or how he went from being, a wrestler to end up being a mob, being in the mob, and then ended up getting killed by the mob. So,
yeah, he was. If I heard their story correctly, now granted, I heard this from Dave Meltzer. It'll get into that. Pretty much the story about it is he was in there as a professional wrestler. He ended up getting tied up with the mob and became like a collector, not necessarily a hitman, but a strongman. And he was in on a deal. I want to say bootlegging cigarettes or whatever. And the deal went south. He kind of went into hiding, and they waited for his family to leave and shot him 11 times. And nobody asked questions because we knew he was the mob, and we're not fucking with the mob.
Yeah, you're not supposed to ask questions.
Yep. So that's it for the news. Surprisingly, we don't have a whole lot much more. I mean, then we have some news on our front. We are officially going to be working with the one Andre Corbeil and Wrestling with Wrestling. He has gracefully decided to take pretty much every episode we decide to post and attach it to his YouTube page as well. Go check him out. A great guy who's not only been in ring, he's worked in the Hart Dungeon. He's met, Stu Hart. He's done the whole gamut. He's actually a pro wrestler, a videographer, the whole nine. Check out his page as well. Link will be in the description. We want to thank Andre for the opportunity. And the idea is to hopefully have him on an episode of the Retro Rewind. We don't know when, but he's a busier dude than we thought. So within due time, that'll happen. But of course, another guy who's super busy, my guy right here, I want to let him do some plugs so you know where to catch him because he's always so goddamn busy.
Of course, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter under the same name, RWG_Deadman. If you find anything interesting, of course, you could send it to me or tag me in it, and I promise you I will share it on both my Instagram story and retweet it on Twitter. Mr. Moses Marquez, you may take us home, sir.
Thank you, boss, man. So again, make sure to check out Andre Corbeil. Make sure to check out Max Wrestling. Max Wrestling on Facebook is the easiest way to get a hold of them, or youtube.com/Max Wrestling. It'll give you the link to their website. If I knew it off the top of my head, I'd tell it. But I don't. So make sure you're following us on all platforms of social media. Smart Mark Radio everywhere possible. SMR Podnet everywhere possible. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Check out anchor.fm/SMR Podnet. SoundCloud.com/Smart Mark Radio to find all your favorite audio episodes. Check out the link tree. linktr.ee/Smart Mark Radio. It'll get you links to all of our profiles, all of our social media, where you can find all the episodes, such as places like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Pornhub, Xtube, the whole everything.
Yeah.
So again, check us all out there. Everything's happening. I'm attempting to finish this editing on the first and only right now After Dark episode. If it goes up, if it gets a certain amount of views, we'll do another one. That's the entice here. This is going to be one of those things where this is going to be just me and Moni just shooting the shit. We're going to be bringing people on. Maybe Paul will be on one night. Maybe Trav will be on one night. Maybe we'll get Amir. Maybe we'll just get some random friends of Moni. Who knows? But we're in there having a good time just talking about life, talking about just shit. We're just shooting the shit. That's why it's just an After Dark show. Nothing is off limits.
Exactly.
So check all that out. And with that being said, we'll catch y'all around the bend. Remember, we have the Retro Rewind doing a pay-per-view, doing Bash at the Beach. A review of The Third Man happens this Monday. And we'll catch y'all around the Benskis. Peace out.
Peace out, people.
SMR Podcast Network. You should be listening.